Welcome to the Soul Code, a podcast where numbers, creativity, and intuition guide you back to the truth of who you are. I am your host, Kendra LaVonne, numerologist, artist, and creative coach. For over 25 years, I have helped people around the world discover their path through the sacred language of numbers and the healing power of art. Whether you are a life coach, a caregiver, a creative, or simply curious about how to live more purposefully and in alignment with your authentic self, this podcast is for you. Each episode will explore how numerology can unlock insight into your life purpose, your timing, and your soul blueprint. We'll also dive into intuitive art making, spiritual cycles, and the deeper connection between creativity and consciousness. This is a space for truth, beauty, and transformation. One number, one brushstroke, and one breakthrough at a time. Subscribe now and join me on this journey. Let's decode the soul together. Welcome to my first podcast episode on the Soul Code. I want to talk about why numerology and why it's so important for the time we're living in. This podcast is for, spiritual seekers, it's for the creatives, caregivers, coaches, or anyone who is looking to understand how they can achieve their life goals and dreams and be in harmony with their higher self, the universe, and God. Let me say that if you've come here to this podcast, you are here for a reason, because when we are looking for direction, Spirit guides us, and we have to trust the process. So when that opportunity comes up and we become curious and we're like, let me check this out, trust that that's for a reason and see if it resonates with you. If it doesn't, it's all good. But this is my first time doing this podcast, and I'm very excited. This is very new for me. Usually I'm in front of the audience talking to a bunch of people. So that's how I'm used to, communicating. So this is a learning curve for me. So, you guys bear with me as I get through this. As if I sound a little nervous or a little shaky or stumble, just bear with me. But I'm really excited. I'm excited about taking this thing and pushing myself through this and doing it more, because I feel like this science of numerology is so sacred and is so important for people to understand. So I'm looking forward to you joining me here, and let's dive into why numerology. So let me kind of start with my story first, how I came across numerology, which was literally over 30 years ago. Okay, so it was in a time when no one has never heard of numerology. Of course, astrology was well known. Everybody knew about astrology, but no one knew about numerology. Well, I was very fortunate. I had a really good friend who owned a bookstore in the city of Decatur in Georgia. And this was back in 1992, 93, somewhere in there. And this guy who was a master astrologist and numerologist decided to do a class on numerology. So I took the class, and it was for weeks. It was a long process because it's extremely intensive, and because those days we didn't have the computer to just put in numbers and it calculated everything for you. We had to do the equation for every formula around numerology, and trust me, there are, oh my God, tons of them. So I learned firsthand how to use the different parts of numerology into charts and how to create a chart from scratch. So I started very deep into understanding numbers, and to me, I feel very fortunate because I was able to get that ground level experience where I was able to, I don't know, I think there was something about being able to have to work out those formulas and calculate the name and the birth date and all the different ways that you did that. It was very, very, very interesting. And because of that, I think I gained such an interest in numerology. And when I did my own chart and came across my own chart, it was so on point. I was like, wow. And I felt a deeper sense, because I was young, in my early 20s, and it was a very deeper sense of myself that I found in numerology. So numerology brought a lot of clarity to me in different phases in my life, even up to just 4 years ago when I was channeled information about decoding our numbers and developing different meanings and experiences. So decoding happens. Any numerologist can do it because it's like the matrix. There's still things to be discovered in numerology, because if you can imagine, it's like the physics quantum matrix of the universe. So it's about finding how to add up different things to get certain information. And there have been numerologists that have done that, and I was able to do that as well. And also, I was able to download the decoding and channel the information on the chakra system and how it aligns up with numerology, where it aligns up to your unique energy in each chakra, and how it activates our chakras, not kind of a one for all method, which is fine, but really to resonate with your unique vibration and how you use your third eye, or how your heart chakra works, or how it resonates differently. There's still about the love, but it's like, how do you love? What is the frequency of your love, right? And so my experience with the language of the universe, as I call it, was very personal, because I analyzed every part of my life and to understand myself, the situations I was going through, the experience I had, and why I had them. I didn't look at numbers so much as this physical thing that we see, but as different energies and frequencies, because they really are just the symbols. They're symbols of different energies and all these universal principles. To the point that when I indulging in it for so long, there's times when I can actually see a person and recognize they're looking at their character and behavior, and I can say, this number is definitely somewhere in their chart. So my style as an intuitive numerologist is based on my exposure to doing readings for people over the years, and channeling the information and knowledge that I received. And like I said, because I see numbers as energies all around us. Okay, so why numerology resonates so deeply for me? Numerology is about numbers, but these numbers are symbols of this language that holds all 9 universal principles, okay? They are the archetypes that are found in historical gods, deities, human behavior, and even in the cosmic placement of the planets. Numbers are in sound, in music, in movement, space, and time. Numbers are what makes up our universe. So when our souls came to this planet to be born, it came here on a certain frequency and vibration, and it set the blueprint of our experience. So the goal is to remember who we are by unblocking all the outside voices and influences that don't serve our souls. And when we know our blueprint, we know our worth. So it's really about moving beyond. When you look at numbers, it's about in your life and what numbers are part of your blueprint. You begin to align to that particular frequency, and that's to me is what resonates with me when it comes to numerology. Now, connecting to the spiritual aspect of ourselves, it helps us set the tone with who our soul came here, what our soul came here to master, to learn. Remember who we are through all the chaos. It is what really surrendering looks like. Okay, so that's the very spiritual aspect of it, in that it's really about atoning and attuning to your higher self. You know, we are all called here to live a certain theme, which is our personal story, but the freedom of choice is how we live out that story, whether we live it on a high frequency or find harmony and peace, or we live it in a low frequency where our numbers, and we live in chaos and disorder. Because either way, you're going to live out your numbers. It doesn't matter. Your numbers will always be a part of your existence. It's just on what do you live on, the high frequency of your numbers or the lower frequency of it. Okay, but it's all about coming into alignment with your frequencies. We all do experience chaos and disorder, but the journey is always about learning to listen, to live in our authentic, and to ascend from the limited ego. And the ego can begin to surrender and serve the higher self. So like I said, numerology is a spiritual journey. It teaches us to surrender to what our soul came here to do, and to surrender to who we authentically are. So knowing your numerology gives you a blueprint of your journey, and it affirms what you really already deep down inside know, without all the distractions. When stepping into your true self, you feel seen because you're shining your real light. You're illuminating regardless of what you've been through and all the pain and trauma that you've experienced. When your true light shines, because you're being your authentic self, you change your life experiences. Trauma and pain are our soul's way of looking for the path of ascension. God is the keeper of our journey. Okay, He knows the count of the hairs on our head. He gives us the tools and messages to remember the greatness He created in each of us. And I always say, when we find ourselves, we have found God. I've worked with clients for many years and have seen clients find their journey and take their life path of illumination. I've had clients whose lives have shifted relationship-wise, in their career, in their family life, by understanding the frequency in which they came here on, as well as the frequency of others. I've had clients tell me 10 years they still have their personal blueprint book, and how it guides them throughout the years. And the thing is about these books is that they evolve with you, because as you evolve, the words in your book, you read your book differently, so the meaning changes and it shifts for you, because you see things from a different perspective, because your energy has shifted. And that's anything really. How we read, what we read and how we perceive it is based all on our perception and the frequency that we're at. So the book grows with you, right? It's quite amazing. I've seen it personally, even for myself. I've had clients also who have healed from physical illness by resolving inner conflict. I've had clients build successful businesses by understanding how they were meant to approach their business and their unique way of how the business would operate, because we have to align with what we do. If we're not in alignment to what we're doing, we create conflict, and it's hard to succeed when you're in strife and you're in conflict. I've also had clients who couldn't get out of their own way because they're still holding on to outside voices and influence and not shifting, or they're not shifting their behaviors to be in alignment with their life path. This journey is to self-awareness. Okay, it is all about self-awareness, and it's personal. It's not right or wrong. It's just where we are in ascending to our higher self and our Christ consciousness. As a creative coach, one of the tools I have loved bringing into my sessions is numerology. It's a powerful map for my clients to use as they discover how to manifest their dreams. So for life coaches, numerology offers a deep insight into a client's personality, purpose, and life cycle. It helps clarify timing, patterns, and hidden strengths, making our work as coaches more intuitive and personalized. And honestly, it adds a touch of magic that really resonates with clients seeking meaningful change. Whether you're navigating a big transition or looking to align with your goals, numerology gives us a language and structure to support our transformation. Numerology supports personal growth in many ways that is in alignment with the time we are in. I will do another episode specifically on the universal energies we are in and how we are evolving as spiritual beings, and why numerology has come back into consciousness to support us through this time. So thank you so much for joining me in my first episode of the Soul Code. I look forward to helping you understand what your life path number is all about and other aspects of your numbers, the cosmology of numbers and how it relates to the universe and the making of creation, the history of numerology, how numerology and consciousness relate, and the creative practices that can help heal the creative mind, taking us into a deeper part of ourselves and lowering the rate of dementia, anxiety, and depression. These mental illnesses are skyrocketing, and yes, it's part of the universal numbers that we are in as a collective. In these episodes, I will discuss that and how we can transform ourselves as a community through creative practices and understanding our personal frequencies. Until then, please subscribe to my podcast, and you can reach me by email for a personal blueprint reading at numberswithkendra@gmail.com, or you can visit my website, www.numerologywithkendra.com. But best to reach me by email because I'm trying to update my website right now. It's kind of acting wonky, but please feel free to share your thoughts or message me if you have any questions. You can also find me on Instagram at Kendra L Designs. For creative coaching, you can visit my website, www.connectbda.com. And for caregivers, email me at C mindfulart@gmail.com, and I can send you the link on that site. So episode 2, we're going to go into into talking about your life path and what and all that it says about you. So that will be a very interesting episode. It's going to go really, really deep. I'll go deep into it. It's going to be quite exciting. You get to really understand all the numbers and what their meanings are for yourself, for your loved ones. It's going to be an interesting episode that we dive really deep into. So thank you for warmly listening, and my hope is that you will discover how to live your greatest life. You are here on purpose, with purpose, and the path is already within you. Until next time, blessings and love.